I was born and raised in Detroit. I love my city. I adore all the growth and the architecture and all the amazing things we've accomplished, whether it be Motown or the automotive industry. And as I've traveled the world and spent time and lived in different places, I find that there's no place like home. Detroit will always be home to me, and it'll always be a place that I love. I love this staple, which is amazing. And it really inspired me to do my podcast, which is called Detroit Girl Transform. I decided to do this podcast on Resilient Radio, which is a Black-owned station based in Detroit. And it really highlights the transformation of my city while I, as an individual, was transforming. And what kind of people come out of Detroit, which are really people with hustle and grit, who are determined and also exhibit perseverance. The podcast will really focus on different people that have different phases of transformation, whether it be their finances, their well-being, their travel experiences, how they transform their relationships, how they transform their spiritual beliefs. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, and that's what's best for our city, and that's what's best for our legacy and our future and our family. Welcome to another episode of Detroit Girl Transform. I am your host, Tony Carter. I'm bringing on my guest. Welcome to another episode of Detroit Girl Transform. I'm your host and your favorite Detroit girlie, Tony Carter, and your transformation coach. So tonight we gonna have a little girl chat and spill the tea. Ain't that how the little kids do it? How we spill the tea? And we're going to be talking about our favorite show forever. This show pulled at our hearts. It talked about young Black love. It talked about, what it means to go to the vineyards. It talked about disability. So I grabbed some of my good girlfriends so we could break down the hit Netflix series Forever. So I'm super excited to have Monique Moore Davis. Hey, Momo.
Hi.
Jennifer Nolan. Hey, Jen.
Hey.
Hello. And April Miller. So they are joining us from North Carolina, Chicago, and Detroit. And of course, I'm in DC. So thank y'all for coming on.
Thank you for inviting us. This is exciting.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, baby, I'm about to be a celebrity. Let me review my contract.
Who would have known this is all it took to just get on this podcast and you blowing up, Jen?
I'm telling you.
Well, let's get into it. I'm just curious, what made you press play and decide Forever was going to be a series that you wanted to get into? So I'll start with you, April. What made you press play and watch that series? Because I know you're busy, so if you commit to a series.
I'm going to say word of mouth because I wasn't checking for it. I knew nothing about it, but I heard a lot about it. It seemed like it was a good, wholesome concept, and it wasn't, drama or, it seemed like it was my speed. So that's what it initially turned me on to want to watch it. And then I kind of like the, background of it being like a love story, a young love story. So that's what kind of drew me to watch it.
Okay, I love that. No drama, love. That's what we all about in this season, right? Monique, what made you hit play? Because Monique, by the way, gives me all my Netflix suggestions. So she's a really good Netflix series critic. So Monique, what made you turn it on?
Probably just because it was a Black series. I'm like Issa Rae. I'm rooting for everybody Black, so I'm gonna support and watch it.
Period. Easy check.
Right.
Jen, what made you hit play?
Same, but you know what? I had to wait a little bit because sometimes on social media people will send you down a rabbit hole on a series. Mm-hmm. You'll be like, "What is this?" I know it's unpopular, like His and Hers. I was like, "Girl, what is this?"
Wait a minute, I like His and Hers.
His and Hers is good.
It took me a while to adjust. Listen, it's my truth. Let me live in my truth.
That's your lived experience, Jen.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so the reviews, everybody was saying you need to watch it, you need to watch it. And I said, okay, I finally watched it and I thought it was cute. So I kept watching.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, good. And for me, same. Like I had heard great things about it. Actually, I think it was some of the posts that Jen was going through so many emotions on some of the some of the episodes. I said, let me watch this. And then when I saw that Mo was watching it, because Mo is like I said, Mo has had me on a rabbit hole on so many good, and she's never missed. It's always a hit with the Netflix series. So,
Girl, listen, it's some good ones out now. Shout out to Blue Therapy. Gotta watch that.
oh, I just finished Blue Therapy. That was good.
Let me write
Although
this
we're
down.
not talking about that tonight, but we can break that down because I wouldn't have dated none of them men. I would have broke up with every last one. So we and you had to take that one offline. Okay, so let's get into the characters. Like, who stood out to you as the characters on Forever? And I'll start with you, Jen. Who stood out to you on the characters?
So obviously, Keisha and Justin, it's their story, their love story. But for me, I don't know, it's because I'm at the right age of Fort Blank. I was looking at the parents and more so Mama Shelly, Keisha's mom, being a single parent working two jobs, trying to make sure her daughter has the best. And I looked at her strength, and you see Black women, period, doing whatever we have to do, whether it's in the marriage with Justin's parents or a single parent like Shelly, Keisha's mom. I loved her.
Yeah, I love Keisha's mom did her best, was doing her best, and she didn't do a bad thing. But I felt like it represented the single parent broken household in the Black community, where the mother is significantly involved with working and providing for the family, that you can't get that soft version of them. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that for young Black boys and young Black girls, where they don't get the soft love of a Black woman because this woman is fighting for her life to make sure her kids survive. And so I just, so it's nothing negative towards it. I think it was amazing, but it kind of reminds me of just kind of the ecosystem that we're bringing our kids up in, where we don't get that love and affection because our mother is trying to play both roles and working to make sure we have food on the table and we are provided for. So, Monique, how about you? What character stood out to you?
Justin's mother. I am her. We are.
Oh, yes, you are. That you are.
I am just. I mean, like some of the stuff I was triggered because I feel like I've been there with my son. Most of you all know my son is 18, and he had his first girlfriend. I tell
Now,
people.
we ain't signed no NDA for you to be telling his business.
No, he said, "Are you gonna talk about me?" I said, "I don't know," but I mean,
I gotta stand up as the auntie.
No, nothing bad. They just really thought they was so in love, and then just being the mother and seeing it, it's like, I mean, okay, you're nice to the girl because that's your son's boyfriend. I mean, girlfriend, but it was hard. It was hard. I really appreciate her though when she found out. She was upset, but she did take time to listen to what her son had to say. And then she came back and she said, "You know what, son, you were right, and her school failed her, but we're not going to. She belongs to us. She is now part of our village, so we gonna take care of it." It's a hard conversation. I'm a person that when I hear things, I write them down. And one of the things that she said is love is sometimes doing the hard thing. And I was like, she said a word. She said a word right there. And I mean, just how she was like, this is what we're going to do. Because if you ask my son, he'd be like, I'm going to college because he wants to go. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, son, this is what we need to do. This is what we're going to do. So I was like,
yeah, you definitely are very similar to Justin's mom. Very directive. I be calling, she like, I'm on the phone with Brandon, making sure he wake up for his test. I'm like, what?
Listen.
Brandon ain't gonna never say his mother didn't stand on top of him. Okay.
Listen, on business, okay? Helping him. Now next year, he on his own,
We'll see, Mo. We'll see. She's gonna be like, I'm down the street, I'm at Brandon's college making sure
he came to make sure your clothes is washed.
I still
So
have a
for me,
question because I don't have children. Real quick, Tony.
yeah.
How long did they stay together, and did you think that it was a serious relationship when they were together, or did you think it was just like something like a fling?
Girl, listen, I they could have still been together, but her mother didn't like, I guess, some of the aspects of what she was doing up there in regards to maybe she thought my son may have been distracting her. So she moved her back to where she was. I don't want
Oh,
to
I remember.
say, but this girl wrote a book about my son and published it on Amazon. Yes, she
Okay,
did.
okay.
Girl,
All right, now Mo. Now I got to stand up for my nephew. That's enough. That's enough.
I didn't say the book, but I mean,
I
if you ask
mean,
her, she felt like she was really, really, really in love. And I
I
guess so.
remember
But I
that.
mean, at 14, I feel like it's still puppy love, you know?
hmm
At 18, I feel like, thank you, Carla. Carla, like, don't be telling my nephew's business. So
I
I
did
can't stand
not
it.
tell his business.
Okay. So we're gonna get back to the show. But for character purposes, I was obsessed with Justin's dad. Now I can't remember
Mhm.
his name. What was his name on the New Edition show? He was on the
But his
New
name
Edition.
is
Right.
that's his name, but I don't know what his name was on the edition.
Mm-mm.
Yes, so I thought that he did such a great job of balancing everything that we need to hear a young man, a young black boy have hear from his father. You know, I remember the time when there was an issue. I think Justin had a chip on his shoulder with his mom, like, you know, she's trying to control me, she's trying to control everybody. And when the father said, your mother is loving you and living out of fear because you're a young black boy and she wants you to come home every night, I felt like he did a good balance of validating how Justin was feeling, you know, suffocated and over, you know, the mom was controlling, but also making sure that as a young black man that his son acknowledges the fear of his mother and start the process of learning how to protect women. So I definitely would have dated him if he was available, but we'll get to that later. All right. So next question. I think we talked about this a little bit, but do you feel like there was social and economic differences that shaped the storyline between Keisha and Justin? And Jen, I'll start with you.
Absolutely. We just kind of sort of talked about it. On one respect, you have someone who works hard, has to work hard, has to keep above the fray, have to, stay on the straight and narrow. And so their outlook in life, how they address certain situations and relationships was different from, let's just say, Justin and his family, whereas it was a little easier because he had parents to care for him. Now we'll get to his learning later, but it was, I don't want to say it over, oh, didn't over sensationalize differences in economic and social differences, but it gave a reality that some of us, we do realize that we have different outlooks based on how we were raised, where we were raised, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I agree. Now, what do you think, April?
I kind of agree with Jennifer. I think for Keisha, from her perspective, it was more about survival. You know what I mean? Like it's fighting for your life
Mhm.
essentially. Like you want to make it out, you want to be successful, you want to do better than what you were given. And for Justin, it was more of a comfortable lifestyle where you have, the space to driver mode. You feel like you can't make no mistakes. You feel like you got to be perfect. You know what I mean? So I feel like when you do have certain economic advantages, you're a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think, you know, we didn't talk enough about this, but there's some issues with resourcing, right? So Justin had a plethora of resources, right? Because
Mhm.
of the wealth of the position and the privilege of the family. And Keisha did not, right? And so, you know, it was even down to Justin getting a new Jeep, Keisha catching a bus, and just really and truly, which is fine. I mean, I caught three buses to school. I'm still here. I went to King. I was ride or die. But at the same time, I feel like that played a role in how they even had a lens of what to see. Keisha's like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of this situation, and education is my way out. Justin's like, nobody's listening to me. I want to do music. Everybody's forcing something else. And so it's just a different position of privilege that I think played into it. And but they what I love about it is it did not impact their relationship. It was just more around things that were happening in the background. All right. So next question, and this is for everybody, and I'll start with you, Monique. Was there any nostalgic moments as you reflect on your childhood love or your teenage years, or anything about your experiences, whether it be related to the parents, like Mo, you obviously was triggered by the situation
Very.
with the mom, but was there any
Mhm.
nostalgic moments for this show for you?
That I related it to my teenage.
Or just your experience as a mother? It doesn't have to be your teenage years. It's any experience at any point in your life.
Well, I told you I felt triggered and felt like I was in a loop almost with the mom and that aspect with the son. But I mean, I would say that it, me and my high school boyfriend, we did come from, I want to say, different types of families. We both came from a two-parent household, but there were lots of differences in our household. I'm not saying anything is wrong with them. Shouts out to y'all if y'all watching. But it was just, they were more like laid back. And it could also be because I was a girl. Men let their boys do whatever they want and they feel proud, like, oh, you got a girlfriend. Whereas, when you a girl, your dad is like, well, it's 10 o'clock, son. You need to go on home. So,
Keep them doors open, go in the rooms.
right. Because, even in the story, she was always at his house and it was fine. Now,
Mm-hmm.
true,
Could have been involved.
her mother didn't know about that, but even just to have him over as a friend, you didn't see him at her house unless her mother wasn't there. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's sad that we have these different roles for boys and girls, but I could see it there too. And she wanted to keep up the facade that she was with this guy to make her mother happy and not put strain on her mother. I'm with this great guy that you love, when in reality that wasn't it. You should have been happy with who you was, but we know why. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Jen, what about you? Was it a trip down memory lane or recent triggers? I don't know. Mostly like she was triggered from yesterday.
Right, like yesterday, like this was a recent trigger. but, yeah, it brought back nostalgia, the feeling of being awkward, very awkward, trying to navigate, being a young person in love and um, uh, new and fresh take on love. But then it was also painful. Like, tag, was I that awkward or that naive, or did I try to
Mm-hmm.
mimic adult relationships like that? Like, what was going through my mind? And at the time, I don't think. Well, no, there is. I don't think it's confusing us. But we always think about, like, this is I'm gonna marry this person. We play little stupid games like this means that we're a perfect match. Y'all remember MASH? The game
Jen,
MASH.
you definitely know your age talking about you remember MASH.
Right.
Ooh, you coming for me. That's okay. But no, seriously, the game like MASH. Like we write it down, like what we wanted, our
Oh, I thought
ring,
you were
our
talking about the
house.
show MASH. No, I don't remember the game MASH.
Tony. Okay, for the rest of y'all.
And you younger than me.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to play when I see you next week or 2 weeks. So anyway, so we would play those games like visualizing our
Probably remember it.
forever while we in high school. And so I'm like, was that me like being that awkward? So, it was cute and it did trigger some questions.
April, what about you? And Roz remember the game too, Jen.
Thank you.
I don't know. I think for me, I probably had a little bit of a skewed view on like young love. I mean, my mom got pregnant very young, still in high school, and she scared me to death about getting with boys and getting pregnant, missing prom, and lies. Like she put it in me early, like
It's like a horror film, huh?
So I had a very skewed view. Like I didn't really. I don't want to say I thought, young love was stupid. I don't even want to say I thought, it scared me to death, but it wasn't something that I was really checking for because I kind of equated it to ruining your life early. So I was kind of a late bloomer, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, when I saw like young couples in high school, I just always thought in my head, like, oh, that's gonna end, or maybe she gonna get pregnant, lose her. Like, I just never really believed in it. Like, I never really believed in it. So I think a lot of that may have had to do with just my mom instilling some things into me young, and just I don't know, life in general. I saw a lot early, so I don't know. I never bought into it.
April didn't subscribe to you. So for me, I definitely had a first love when I was in high school. He was a little bit older than me, slightly, but
what's a little bit? Wait a minute.
Listen, we're not getting into that, okay?
Okay.
He worked at the plant, Tony. He was already working at the plant.
He was already in the Navy, and I believe in that.
Okay.
I like men to know where they're going, okay? So, but I'm going to tell you, that was a very dramatic relationship, and I was devastated when we broke up. But some of the things that Keisha went through with Justin towards the end is what I was going through. Like, everything I liked, all of a sudden he liked. I'm like, oh, because we continued on through like my first year of college. And I was like, I want to be a Delta. He's like, I want to be a Mason. I'm like, you never said nothing about wanting to be a Mason. I just felt like every time I wanted to do something, he wanted to mimic it. And I was like, this is strange. Like, what are your dreams? Like, I have my dreams. What do you want to do? And that's kind of why we end up breaking up, because he wanted me to marry him, move to live on the Navy base. And I just had this nightmare about like working in a video store. No shade to people that were working in a video store. But it was just like, I was like, well, we could get married, but I still wanted to stay on campus. And he was like, no, you're my wife. And so I'm like, but you're going to be on the ship for a year. I'm going to be at home by myself. And so after I had that like dream and woke up in sweat, like that I was working like as somebody's wife at a Blockbuster on the Navy base, I just was like, you know what? I'm a butterfly. I need to fly, and I'm too young to get married. And so once I turned down a proposal, it kind of fizzled out. But I just wanted to know what he wanted to do for himself, and not everything that I said I wanted to do, because he was older than me. So I'm like, you obviously didn't have dreams before I did. So what's going on? But so I felt when Keisha, I don't know if y'all noticed it, when Justin was saying he might go to the same school as Keisha, she almost cracked. She was like, because that was her opportunity to kind of see who she was. And that's what I felt when I was at that age. I wanted to get to know who I was without this, the outside forces of, my first love. And I loved him, but I loved myself a little bit more. So, so not triggered, but just kind of could identify with some of it. And you couldn't tell me we wasn't going to this as a child. Nah, sometimes I'd be like, what is his last name?
Well, I will say, my boyfriend did break up with me when I went to college, and that was the best thing ever. Mm-hmm.
That was the best decision for both of y'all.
Best.
Oh yeah, because you went to A&T. You should have been with nobody. Well, that's for another episode. So this has been such a great conversation, and I love the fact that we can relate to this series, even though it's about young adult love, but it has a lot of different moving pieces. So we're actually going to take a quick commercial break. We are always looking for more sponsors to join our transformative journey. If you would like to be a sponsor and come along this journey with us, make sure you email us at dgt313podcast@gmail.com. Again, dgt313podcast@gmail.com. And now we're going to have a commercial for one of our favorite sponsors of Potty Products. All right. So welcome back. Welcome back. I am enjoying spilling the tea. Are you ladies having fun?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I know this has been a lot of fun. So I want to get to some good stuff. So we remember when it was like the first time we fell in love. So what does falling in love at this stage in your life mean to you, and why? Like what is so we know what it felt like. I think we kind of talked a little bit about what it felt like at that age, but at this stage in your life, for us lover girls, what does falling in love mean to you now? And I'm gonna start with you, Monique. What does falling in love mean
Oh,
to
I
you?
knew you would start with me first.
Were you such a lover girl?
Shout out to Mike if you're watching. So to me, falling in love is being with somebody that's easy to be with. I don't like being with somebody and it's always like an argument, a push and pull. I need to have somebody where I can have fun with and laugh with, but I also want to feel secure. I want to feel secure with telling you how I feel and you listen and can understand. You may not agree, but at least you can listen to it and see my point of view and maybe change some stuff. I also need somebody that can compromise with me. But that secureness is, yeah. And I'm living my soft girl era too. I kind of like it. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I saw that today with your hair flipped to the side. Okay, girl.
Yeah, I like getting picked up, the door open. Yeah, yeah,
We deserve it, right? We
yeah.
deserve it.
hmm
April, what does it mean? What does falling in love mean to you at this stage in your life? Oh, I think we lost April. Well, I'll share my answer because I think I talked about this the other day. I want to be in love, and I also want to feel valued.
hmm
Feeling value is just as important as being in love because I think that sometimes when someone tells you they love you, which is great, the action doesn't always follow up with it. But when you're
Sure.
actually valued and someone values you, your time, who you are, your energy, and I've felt that. I've been in love with somebody that valued me, and that was totally different than being with somebody in love who want to just keep running their mouth, because my love language is not listening to you run your mouth, just so you know. So
Mhm.
but I definitely know, and I actually have someone in my life that we are not together, but they still love and value me, and so I don't even mind spending time with that individual whether we're together or not, because when you're around somebody that values you, it just hits different. So we're going to go to our next question, and I'm really really one of the things that I loved about this particular storyline was that we did not shy away from young kids with disabilities. And so there are a lot of children that have different disabilities, neurodivergent. And so Justin had ADHD, which I like to call was his superpower. And I love how that was kind of woven into the love story. And the reason why I love that is because there's not enough education on it. There's not enough emphasis on how much resources can be provided, whether it be a specific, IEP education plan and just different things. The one thing I just wish they would have touched on before I get to both of you guys was the the emotional regulation, because a lot of children with disabilities do have and require emotional regulation support as well. And so I wish they would have, because a lot of times when Justin was experiencing those intense emotions, like how he was really depressed when him and Keisha broke up. I mean, like probably clinically, right? A lot of that is connected to his disability. That's not an excuse for it, and that's not giving it a pass. It's just making sure he has the resources to support himself with emotional regulation, as well as the resources to support him with what he's going through with his education. I felt like his mother was heavy on the education, heavy on the future, but not really both parents really supporting as much emotionally. So I'll start with you, Jen. How do you feel about how that was portrayed?
Listen, absolutely loved how it was portrayed, and I thank you for saying a superpower, because you see this teen trying to work through this awkwardness and trying to cope I think the very first episode, he was trying to write a paper and it took him forever. And I said, you know, I understand, young man. I understand. And so I love that it's a perspective for people to see and have conversation about neurodivergent, autism, and so on and so forth. So I love how it's portrayed. And actually, before I jumped on this call, my sister and I, she's in the comments, hey girl, or chat, we were just talking about one of my favorite shows. I know it's not on tonight, but it's Love on the Spectrum. I love that show and the innocence that they have and the difference in processing is something for us to understand, because to be truth be told, some of y'all out here dating people who are undiagnosed autism and neurodivergent. And
I done diagnosed a few people. I'm gonna tell you right now.
that's why you're trying to love them the way that and get love from them the way you think a neurotypical person would, but baby, they can't. It's not gonna happen. But I love the way it was portrayed.
Yes, I do too. Monique, what do you think?
I like the way it was portrayed. Because I have experience with ADHD. I wish they could have maybe thrown some more aspect into like the therapy and getting him some help instead of just kind of saying, well, it's time to come down for dinner, it'll be okay. Now they did throw in some therapy with her mother, and I thought that was helpful with Keisha's mother. She started seeing a therapist to help her kind of wrap her brain around, what happened to her daughter and how to support her. So I do appreciate that. I wish they could have done some more around that with Justin's character to help him, kind of balance his emotions, kind of balance what's going on with school. I think if he had a therapist, that probably would have helped him a lot. Mm-hmm.
Baby, I thank God for therapy. You hear me? Therapy has saved a lot of people.
Yes.
From me.
Save you from yourself.
Uh-huh.
And save me from knocking all this over. Because I will.
All of this over.
All of it. Yes. So I think that, and by the way, the term superpower, I got that from a good friend of mine that's a clinical therapist. Shout out to Renisha out of my counseling. She's in Michigan. And it does, because typically in those situations, they each of them have superpowers. Like some people can read at a very rapid rate, or they process things very quickly. So we need to stop viewing disability as someone being disabled and really lean into their superpower, because it empowers them to really take control. And to your point, Monique and Jen, I think that the mother was heavily focused on keeping them on track, keeping them on path, but like not a lot of emotional support, not a lot of therapy to help him deal with some of the feelings that he was experiencing. And then, that's where I was saying the superpower. The reason why he was so good at music and beats was because of that superpower with ADHD, right? And so everybody has a journey, and the journey may not look the same, but the destination will probably be the same, but how you get there might be different. And ultimately, we want our kids to be happy and successful. And whatever that looks like for them, if they want to paint, I'm at the age, I don't know if I'm gonna still be dating struggling artists, but to each his own, But I want everybody to be free within the framework to do what it is they feel like they need to do. April, any thoughts about how they portrayed the ADHD?
I think it was a good storyline, because I do feel like nowadays, for some reason, a lot of kids are struggling with it. So I think it was a good sense of representation for those who are struggling with it, and those of us who are not familiar with it, to kind of understand how that type of a mind works, right? So I think it was a good addition. And like you said, the creativity, hyper focus, emotional intensity, those type of things that folks may think may be a little bit odd or something like that. It kind of helped to maybe explain a little bit, how some of ADHD might view things, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
April just triggered something in my mind and memory about people not knowing how to deal with it, perhaps if they see it. Because growing up, I'm just 100% honest. I signed my form, so I'm okay. I was in resource class, and I wasn't undiagnosed, but I'm in resource class because I'm struggling to read. I'm struggling to see the words. I'm struggling to process, and I'm struggling with certain things. And I'm thinking I'm going to play Oregon Trail. I'm going to play these games, like, just, for a little help, not knowing that I'm not going to say learning disability. I just had some challenges, right? Because I was undiagnosed. And so I'm wondering how much of our generation, you're just like, oh, that's just how he is, or this how she is, not really putting name to it. Like, it's not just you're autistic. There are other, forms of neurodivergent disorders that come along with just development. And so I think this story highlighting the superpower in Justin, I hopefully starts a conversation within our community about mental health. Also, whatever challenges we may have, it's not just because that's the way he or she is. It's because truly there is some stuff that needs to be addressed through therapy.
And I think for that is resources. Like, I mean, insurance, the type of insurance you have. Like, if you don't have the resources to get the kid diagnosed, that's how oftentimes you see a lot of people where they say, oh, he's special, but you don't really know what that special is because you couldn't get it a proper diagnosis.
I mean, early intervention is very much so recommended. Like, the sooner you can get to support like I said, the specific plan. And by the way, just, with me working in multiple industries, most brilliant people are very much so neurodivergent. So most brilliant people are. So you ever?
That's very true. One of our students was Asperger's or something, and she was very extremely smart.
Yeah, a lot of times. And so, like, you ever, you with somebody that could pretty much, cure cancer, but very uncomfortable sitting alone with you, having a conversation about how they feel about it, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It, again, is just something that needs additional support in a different way. All right, so now, and this is something I want to hear from everybody, I'm going to talk about a very tough moment, and I do think it needs to be talked about, and that's when Keisha's intimate video of when she was having intimacy with another teenage boy was shared amongst a bunch of students, high school students. Video was passed around. She was unaware that she was being recorded. So what were your thoughts on how that was handled by, whether it be her parent, the friends? So I'm going to start with you, Jen. What are your thoughts about that video? And I'm going to start with Judge.
First of all, I kept thinking everybody should be charged. Everybody. But then they'd be sex offenders, so never mind.
Jen was ready to register.
Yeah. Get them registered, her and Keisha. But in all seriousness, thank God we didn't have video cameras when we were kids. We didn't have access to social media and streaming, but the dangers we've seen it unfold in so many different documentaries online with children being exposed by other children. And I don't know if parents are like, oh, they wouldn't do that, we've taught them better. But no, you got to teach them more than what we've learned, because they have access to so much in the technology.
Yeah, you have to go a step further. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, they got video shared. I wasn't even old enough to date till I was 16, and y'all already on some other stuff. I mean, and even like, I don't know if y'all saw the documentary with the Epstein files where, he was telling the young 13-year-old girls, if you bring somebody back, I'll give you $200. So we got a whole 13-year-old pimp. She done brought about 20 girls. Talking about she done made $1,000 a day. I'm like, and then they trying to charge her. I'm like, what about him? I mean, her frontal lobe is not fully developed. But he knew what he was doing, telling a 13-year-old girl, go get your friends in school and bring them back for $200. Monique, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's hard, like, because like Keisha was telling her mother, she could get in trouble too, because she was the one who actually sent the video to her boyfriend. I have told y'all nephew before, if a girl asks you for a picture, do not send it, because you'll get in trouble just for sending it to somebody that's your age.
Yeah. Yeah, it's illegal. It's illegal to send any nudes, anything like that. By the way, any of their little intimate scenes, I fast forward. I don't want to see kids doing that, so that's not even for me. I was hitting that fast forward, just like I do on Love Is Blind. When they on that wedding day, when they lying talking about they gonna marry that person, I fast forward till they get to that. I'll say no. That's how I feel about. I don't want to see no kids kissing in the mouth. I don't want to see that. I wasn't even old enough to be doing what they was doing at 15, 16. So first of all, I'm already mad. Like, why do y'all get to do that?
They
But
did have some
April,
scenes in there.
yeah, I fast forward them. I couldn't tell you nothing about them. April, what do you think?
I think one thing of note is just a difference in how males are judged. You know what I mean? Like, or girls and boys, whatever. But girls are typically judged more harshly than the boy. Even though it's both of them on the film together, they could be the same age. It's always going to be the girl that's ostracized and, called a hoe or whatever because, the video and the boys are, glorified like, oh, you did X, Y, and Z. And then the girl reputation is pretty much ruined and he can just go on about life.
Yeah, and we've seen this with married men that's having an affair with a single woman. I'm like, how is she, got to wear the S on her chest and she the scarlet of the city and this man was the one committed to somebody. I just think we need to really think about how we stereotype indiscretion, how we stereotype poor decisions, and we need to hold everybody accountable that's involved. So I don't even I think it's a very difficult topic because social media has made things so much more intense for kids. I mean, it also allows you to bully people in a very different way. I'm really the kind of person that, I used to be like, meet me at 3:00, and I went to academy. So obviously I should have been conducting myself like that. But you're not going to say something about me at 8 and you going to go home with it. Like, let's, address it before you leave. Now, if I had social media, like the way I would be charged up the next morning, I would probably get put out the next day. Because you done went all, you done went all the way on me, and you think you're going to class like comfortably? No, I might pull you up out of there. So, I mean, obviously, I'm dealing with my anger, but no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But I'm just telling you, as a kid, I did not back down. So I don't think social media would have been good for me at that time. And then being humiliated with something intimate, crash out. Everybody, parents would have been involved. So
I wouldn't have left that school though.
No.
Because everybody knew I'm gonna still be right there. Like her mama said, you got tricked out of a scholarship. Stop playing with me.
Yeah. I mean, because I had an incident in college where a girl was trying to tell all these girls my freshman year. She was telling all these girls I was talking about them. I don't want to go into detail, but the bottom line is I caught them all by themselves, and I out-bully a bully. So she ended up leaving. I stayed. I had the room to myself. She was my roommate. I was in a single room. Oh, no, I was just raised a little different than these kids, but I caught all of them by themselves. And next thing you know, everybody was scared of me. Now, it was definitely more of them than me, and my cousins was like, do you need us to come up here? I was like, no, I'm gonna catch them by themselves first and see what. They was leaving notes under my door, apologizing. She been got kicked out. I closed her out. I had a single dorm my freshman year, so that's how I get down. So that's why social media probably wouldn't have been the best thing for me. All right, so let's go really quickly into the moment when I truly fell in love with Justin's dad. It's just a powerful moment between a Black father and his son. And after that moment, I was thinking about marrying his dad. So we're going to talk about that. So we're going to go to that. Now, y'all know that's when I fell in love. I just wanted y'all to know when it was love at first sight. And it was right there. Like, that was a bar.
Baby, man got to go through the fire to see who he is on the other side of the heat. That's it. I'm going to repost that today, tonight.
That's it. What did you think about that moment, Jen?
Listen, a lot of us don't. Let me put on my preacher hat. A lot of us don't want to go.
Hats, by the way.
We don't want to go through the trials and tribulations because they hurt.
Yeah.
But the trials and tribulations sometimes makes us stronger. It brings us through more resilient, more refined, and we have a testimony of how we got through those times. Same thing, I think his dad was telling him, like, man, I know love hurts. This position, it hurts. The breakup, everything hurts, but you got to go through it, because the man that you are on the other side is the man I want you to be. That man that's loving and caring and a good father, good boyfriend, husband, whatever you're going to be. And I thought that was absolutely beautiful to have that love conversation.
Yeah. What do you think, April?
I think it left like a space for questions like, do people grow together? Do they grow apart? Is forever the concept? Is it even realistic? Is there like a age requirement for people to figure out that a relationship is going to be forever? Can like a young love survive real world pressures? Like just like those type of things that kids that young they're not necessarily thinking about. Like you said, like if you 14, 15 and you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, you think that might be the one forever, but your frontal lobe isn't fully formed, so you're not really tracking that this is just you know not necessarily a phase, but it's one of your seasons in life. Like it may or may not last past the following summer. So I don't know. I think it definitely was a great conversation. And I think, as a parent, you don't know how your child is going to like receive, that type of discussion at such a young age or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's just really worth additional conversation and a lot of growth from that. I mean, I think you could learn from that moment at any phase and stage in your life.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Monique? Love a girl?
I could understand what the father was saying, just as being an adult. Like you can't hide from people and your emotions. You
Hmm.
need to go, like when he said, go talk to her and see what's up. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe you talked to her and you realized, you know what, this is not the right person. Now, as an adult, though, I have had to block people because they don't want nothing. But I gave them a chance. I was like the dad, I'm gonna give you a chance. Let me see what you're talking about. Maybe me stepping away, you realize, okay, let me see if I can give this person what she needs. But when you come back and you still talking that same yakety yak, I am gonna block you. Well,
Yeah,
they're
your
blocked.
block
They're
game
all
is
blocked.
strong, Mo. I just hope you never block me. It's been 15 years. You ain't blocked me yet, so.
Mm. No, 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 no. Friends, you don't have to block. It's just people that I feel like everyone has people that they just want to have access to you. They don't
Yep.
mean you any bad or any good. They just want to see if they still have access to you. And there's no need anymore. I don't wish you ill will, but you can stop texting me because you ain't talking about nothing. Going to ruin what
Yeah.
I got.
Yeah, if you ever
My
want to
mental
talk about
sanity.
access, it's gonna be the best conversation about why men shouldn't have access and they ain't gonna do nothing with it. Is actually from another man. The most
Mhm.
advice I've ever gotten about, oh, we not together, we just cool. He just texts me every day, or he texts me when and it'll be a man like, why do you allow that person to have access to you?
Mhm.
So for me, I'm just heavy on I'm aligning myself with people that are going in line with my future, and it's less on just because they are part of my past. So
Right.
if I have 10 hours in a day that I'm awake, I'd rather spend more time with a person that's aligned to my future than waste my time on somebody that's connected to my past. And there's nothing bad about being connected to the
Mm.
past, but I want somebody to be aligned with where I'm going. So I have definitely changed my access with some people just specifically because they not aligned with my future. And it's not about us breaking up or not being together. It's just simply about we not on the same path forward.
Right. Exactly. But you
All
still got to talk to them, see what they talking about. People rekindle. Look at that. Who was that girl? Ashanti and her man. They got back together, but I'm
right.
sure some things had to change. They weren't the same people they were back in the day. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know. He over here talking about he don't change diapers or he having kids. So I don't know.
Well,
And then
she
he went
knew
over
that
there.
about she knew that about her man, and she's okay
That's
with
what I'm
it.
saying. Then he
I'm
went
sure
over
they
there
got a
and did
nanny.
his performance for
Mhm.
Trump. I don't know.
Exactly, April.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so I don't know about that, but I was rooting for him until he did that inauguration. I'm like, all right, you off the you on the wrong page, you on the wrong team, bro. Like this ain't the presidency for that. All right. So last question, just final thoughts on how the series ended without giving it away, because I know some people want to watch it, but just did it inspire you, frustrate you, and make you hope for a season 2? So I'll start with you, April.
Yeah, I guess it kind of left a lot to be desired, for lack of better words. I mean, I feel like it definitely left open ended. So I guess there is room for there to be a season 2. But I mean, yeah, you want to know like what happened. It does. I guess it does leave you wanting a little bit more. Like, hey, did they make it? Like, what happened with the school situation? You know, that type of thing. So yeah, I would say it definitely left it open and ended so that there could be a follow-on season, and so that people will want to know what the rest of the story looked like. So I think it did what they wanted it to do.
Yes. Okay. Jen?
Unpopular opinion. I think the story, in the last words of April, it did what they wanted it to do, to show a different perspective. But I think it's probably run its course. I can only take so much blocking and unblocking in one, episode and series. So no, it didn't leave me hoping for a second season, but it did leave me perhaps with more questions of a spinoff or something else, something different, a different storyline to, hash out some unresolved issues that were lifted from the series. Um, yeah, no, not much in frustration, but I really appreciate the spin and look at young love.
Yep. Monique?
No, it's fine. It can end. Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I've seen this story. Like, almost everybody on here knows you was with somebody before you went to school. Y'all broke up and you done moved on, I mean,
well,
maybe
we know you moved on when you went to
like
A&T.
go Justin by himself, but I mean, you pretty much take it from here. They went on the live. They would see each other during Christmas times or whatever coming home, but I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, so I think that it just really gives into the concept, if it's meant to be, it'll be, right?
That's true.
And I think there's been many times in different situations where people are going in different places and spaces, and trying to hold on to something that might prevent you from growing is not the right thing to do. So I commend them both for having the courage and the maturity to do what was right. And I think it could go either way. Do I need to see another season of it? Probably not. But I might be curious to see it because I did like the characters, especially if his dad gonna be back on. I know that that's not about him, but they could do a spinoff on just the daddy backstory, and I'm at the screen.
I mean, to me, it just doesn't seem realistic. I mean, I know people that have been together since college. I
know some high school sweethearts that they still married to this day. Like,
I think I know like maybe one or two, but you're right, April. I know like one or two, but it's hard.
Yeah. I think you have to be. I mean, no matter who you meet, when you meet them, y'all got to be able to grow together. Because, I mean, I'm not the same person I was some days 5 days ago. Okay?
For sure.
Yeah. So, I think what young love is, to your point, Tony, like, I feel like you can be in love high school years and maybe you go to college, you break up. And if it's meant to be, y'all will get back together. But I feel like each person should go their own way, get some individual growth, experience new things, figure out what it is they like outside of the other person. And then if it's meant to be, reconnect later. But I don't know if I'm necessarily, and I'm no knocks against it, but I don't know if I'm necessarily in favor of if I had a child, a 14-year-old, and they never, they be with the same guy. Like,
right.
You never had a chance to really do things on your own to figure out who you were, right? Or who you are.
Yeah, I think you got to figure yourself out first. And so, I mean, and I do, I wish, because with my first love, we kind of drug it out a little bit to I think maybe my freshman to junior. I can't remember, because I was dating more than one guy. So let me shut up. But let me not get specific in timelines. But I think I wish I would have just kind of cut it and just kind of enjoyed my college experience because we was just getting into dumb arguments. Like he was like, "I want to be able to call you. You pick up in the dorm." I'm like, "Have you seen this dorm? I'm not about to be up in here." So, but at the same time, it ended when it needed to end, and like if it was meant to be, it would have been. So, I think for us, we could watch it from multiple lenses as aunts, as mothers, but most importantly, I think it was just a transformative journey of Black love that faced adversity, faced some unique challenges. It was really empowering to see the highlight of someone with ADHD, and so all in all, 5 out of 5 stars. What do you think, ladies? 4.5. Monique, like 5 out of 5.
I am a solid maybe a 4.
Okay, that's good.
Same.
I'll give it a 3.75.
Monique.
I didn't like it, but the back and forth blocking through the first couple of episodes, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. They could have combined that into like 2 episodes.
But that's a real teenage situation. That's what they do. So
but I am almost 50. I'm 45, and I don't want to see all that blocking because once I block I'm done.
Point, I was like, okay, I think I fast forwarded that too. I fast forward stuff I don't want to watch, but I'm also a person that watch horror movies with no sound. So
let's unpack that later.
Yeah,
right.
Here because of the noise. Do it when I'm telling you, it won't be as scary when you mute that thing. Except for that Annabelle, that heifer, I can't.
Okay.
It's crazy. All right. Well, thank y'all for joining another episode of Detroit Girl Transform. We are taking this transformation journey one step, one moment at a time. Tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Resilient Radio stream. I am so honored and so appreciative of April, Monique, and Jennifer joining me for this conversation. It's like I'm getting together with my friends on a Tuesday night, chatting about a Netflix series, and Monique said it was a 3.5.
I said
3.75.
Oh, 3.78. What was it?
3.75. It's up there.
That's Monique, she the Netflix queen, so she got to be on. We need to get you on some kind of payroll where they pay you because you definitely be watching them shows.
Yes.
Well, thank y'all so much for joining. I hope y'all come back and visit us soon. We have plenty of series to break down. Blue Therapy is a good one if y'all haven't watched that one. Oh, Gia, you watched it?
No, I wrote it down.
You need to watch that with your husband.
Now, one man would I have dated on there. I'm telling you, I was breaking up with all of them. All of them. I was actually annoyed that they all stayed together. I was like, what is y'all doing?
Is it real?
What'd you say?
Is it real therapy sessions or like?
Yeah, but it's called.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Oh.
But it's kind of like Ayala when they like try to accelerate you through trauma in like 5 minutes. I ain't never seen that like it. I'm like, you thought you could get it done like this? Nah. But it was really good. It was really good.
It's good.
Well, thank y'all for coming. And next week we will be having a great needed conversation on the transformative journey of. They left April. A well-needed conversation on the transformative journey of how you can level up in the job market. So make sure you join us next Tuesday. 9 o'clock.